come out the gate swinging if you are G2. All guns need to be on point.
Well, here we go. We got dead hard point to get us kicked off for this upper semifinal matchup. G2 Minnesota taking on OpTic Texas. And let's get it on as G2 will be spawning on the favorite side towards P2. And again, the big nomenclature for this map. Rotation, rotation, rotation. The number 1 and number 2 teams in that category, and on this map in particular, that's where they find wins. So who's going to be on the edge? How about a early round from Hooper on the back? But it does get shut down. OpTic Texas in the time, but G2 hold the side they want.
Yeah, that's a beautiful break off there from OpTic because he's falling over towards Dragon, and you got Mercury's hitting shots like this. Uncontested for the first 20. Only 20 seconds remaining at the P1, and he already earned himself early Hellstorm. This guy literally is the Messiah.
Yeah, now Shotzi in the back, almost able to find a second. Not quite the case. OpTic doing a nice job over the remaining time at P1. G2, a little bit of a staggered split spawn situation. Has to find a way to recover. Kremp the first one forward. Lots of damage through the wall from Hercules, but Kremp will survive. G2 still trying to build up their threat, though, from the front as OpTic will hold spawns, and they deal with Kremp from the front.
And from two top teams that have recently found great form on that hard point, this is the HP that gets it done for them. G2 are the number 1 P2 team. OpTic are the number 2, but so far OpTic are in the driver's seat. Back spawn secured, extra layers being pushed out towards the front. Shotzi does lose the first gunfight, but Hook quickly keys it up, and OpTic still have the numbers to hold.
Yeah, it's just down to Kremp from couches. Hook tagged up, but Kremp on the way out. Help on the way through middle. 30 seconds till the fight for it. Hook surely should be traded here, and he will be. Now it's down to the timing of the battle inside the hard point itself. Estriel and Mamba able to get a couple of numbers in, but Hercules once again the savior over the top of the scrap time. 20 seconds to fight for, and this is the question mark time. Does G2 rotate? Do they play for time? And down 75 to nothing, they need to play for time.
Yeah, we are sitting at 0. We need to get some kind of hill time so we can get ourselves into the mix, but you contest that final 10, you're going to be late off the rotation, and now you got the nuke trying to create an extra space. Does get caught by Mamba, but OpTic gonna be crystal clear. Just need to be prepared for the Minnesota pressure through mid-map.
Yeah, that's 3 players hitting right through mid-cut. They were not prepared for it, so the snowball is effective. G2 find their break down in easily. Hook, damage out, looking for a double finessing, but not able to escape. Meanwhile, though, the reinforcements for OpTic will repossess mid-cut, but they don't win the gunfight, so G2 have a nice moment here.
Yeah, perfectly played from G2. You get aggressive through mid-cut for the early break, and then you push out towards Dojo and win the second wave of fights. So you have the spawn secured for that next HP, but Mercury's in the back pocket, has the Hellstorm. It's gonna force you out of position, put you in spots you don't want to be in, and that sets up Hook and Dash for 3. The break is good.
Yeah, Mamba just alive. Last one standing over towards Dojo, can only catch 1. So that is a really solid moment for OpTic to use the Hellstorm, gain themselves an advantage, and we're gonna take a listen into the comms to see how OpTic Texas survive.
I'm going bottom red. I can be bottom red.
Outer new dead.
Mid. I tried mid dead. Okay, I'm trying
They could be close, they could be close.
Five left. Yes.
One center.
Two me left. Yeah. One left. Not gonna. There's two JoJo's.
Chow out there. I'm about to chow out there.
Minute Dojo first.
Outer dead.
That's right.
Watch out Dojo.
Okay, I'm chowing out there again. Outer dead.
Watch out.
Okay, I chowed out front.
Yeah, we're gonna be funny first.
Front's a bullet on me. Dead. Another one outer roof. Bumper. First guy was outer roof.
Yeah, I got time. Outer roof, bumper. A little weak.
Right there. Still there. Nice. Caesar's there.
He's up with
On the window. One shot.
He's absolute too though. I'm absolute.
You guys all go right here.
Hey,
He was.
Caesar's dead. That's
Caesar's spawning out here. Caesar's spawning out behind us.
Maybe it's gonna be lobby, probably. Sean. Kremp, one shot. Kremp sweet. Kremp's one shot lobby. Gonna be another one. Broken. Work on. I'm shot lobby. Left. Our hill dead. Top broken.
Top broken's not peeking. He's just living up there.
They're spawning gents. They're gonna go con. First guy's gonna be con. One's top broken. Still top broken. Jumped out for me. Dead. Another one lobby.
Lobby
nice.
dead.
The rest are gonna be con. Nice.
Lobby dead.
Missing one. I flip. Hold on.
What do you guys do?
Which guy?
Every time. Yeah,
I'm looking.
It does not get better than this. OpTic have not lost a rotation. They've only allowed G2 to get, most of their time on the end of 2 and a little bit at the beginning of 3. This has been perfection for the Green Wall.
Oh, this is scary for the rest of the league, man, because the communication's on point. You know that these guys possess every ounce of gunning that they need to get themselves through series like this. But G2, a squad who went tooth and nail with Falcon, are just rolling over and dying for OpTic Texas can do no wrong.
I mean, this might be one of the most abusive hardpoint score lines that we've had all year long if this holds.
It's their best hardpoint too, Al.
I know it. It's not a good look for G2. And even outside of a couple of the trades, there just have not been any convincing moments for G2 Minnesota. Hook working on the back. Spawns will be surprisingly still in for Minnesota, though, so an opportunity here, but they need a full 60, a full rotation, and another one after that to start considering this a close one.
Yeah, we need to start gaining some confidence. Start getting the gunnies hot potentially for the rest of the series because OpTic are just roaring right now. So far, great hold, though, from G2. They shut down the first couple of waves there from OpTic. Back spawns are still being blocked. Still have Prep pushed out towards the front side, but here comes the pressure through mid. Couch is going to be outnumbered now.
Yeah, and you got a pitch set up on the back. That's going to be Shopsy to move his way through Garage, and it is a break for scrap time for OpTic, and numbers on rotation. Consider that G2 are split spawn behind P2, so Dash to the first one there will find a double, and that will likely get OpTic very comfortably over the 200-point mark.
And they can win it here with a perfect hold. It all starts by winning that initial fight, but Skies gets the better of Hoop there over towards Dojo's side. He also gets one extra, so now it's all on Dash. He's trying to hold down Cobble. A clean 4 dead. G2 need another massive hold.
Yep. They had to use the Hellstorm last time around. Don't have the same luxury here, so have to do it the old-fashioned way. And Shotzi just walks through mid-cut, but is responded to. G2 find the first 2 kills. Mercury is trying to find some trades. Able to connect onto the first, but doesn't expect the pinch from Cramp. So G2, a good read here. We're OpTic are spawning, trying to put pressure onto Dojo, but OpTic are up and looking to battle back in.
Yeah, they're not going to be willing to give up this 30 seconds of free. We know we have the leader's advantage, and we have the gun eater possessing in us to force our way back over towards this P3 time. You apply pressure from so many different angles. A clean 4 dead. G2 don't have anyone thinking about rotation. OpTic reaches the 200-point mark.
Yeah, man, OpTic's just not letting G2 breathe. That's just simply put what's happening at the moment as G2 are trying to rotate through rooftops to 4. OpTic in position to try to respond to it, but as Hoop drops, it's really just Mercules and Dashi outside the hill trying to play for a couple of opening kills. They do get one onto Mamba. Estriel, a deep shoulder, costs him most of his life, but Dashi and Merc also low. Long route starting to develop from Hook on the backside as Mercules has the sub out now. Trying to work his way in. He's going to find the first 2. Now you start to wait for the pinch from behind if you even have to. Mamba, Skies are there, but here's Hoop. Only catches the first. It's only one he needs. OpTic break and they can win here.
Just once those kills start going down, you're forced to give up the pinch if you are Mamba and help your teammates try to hold down the time. Even though you gun them out the back door, Hoop to Nuke on the re-pinch with a great route there. Still allows his teammates to soak up all of this time. Only needing another 15 seconds. G2 had the backstorm. One more attempt and a break.
Yeah, but it's really just down to OpTic playing this however they see fit. Could just hold this from the front. Little 2v3 moment up close and personal. Dashing. Oh, no! Mamba able to survive. That would have been a heck of a finishing exclamation point on this first map, but G2 looked like they may sneak out of the 100-point club.
Unless Hoop just going to try to contest this. Minnesota not going to be able to breach that 100-point mark. You only have one player in the middle of the map, and OpTic going to need 13 seconds.
Well, staggered 1v1s all around this hard point. Will keep G2 in a position to fight. Hoop forcing the issue. Shut down though by Estriel. OpTic still just waiting for their structure, and it's coming by way of mostly playing this through couches. Nade lands. Mercules finds a freebie. And the last 12 seconds may just happen here if you can find the kill into Mamba at mid-cut.
Yeah, Mamba just needs to find an opening, or at least Skies gets it through top window. So for now, OpTic still haven't put the finishing touches yet on map number 1, but Dashi lines up 3, almost finds the 4th with the pistol. Spawn split, but it doesn't matter. OpTic have it on lock.
Absolutely, and you get to read on where G2 are coming from. That is clean, calm, and collected. OpTic dominate match number 1.
And you heard the best touch on it. A must-win map there for G2. A map that OpTic, we're trying to get to their map pool all throughout Major 2 qualifiers. You go 0-3 to start the stage. But now that's 4-0 so far in the remaining part. They've been outstanding in the rotation win percentage, and they basically win every single roll besides one.
Yep.
And that's why the scoreline is the way that it is. OpTic dominate map 1.
And that's just a reflection and kind of a reaction to yesterday's match versus Toronto. We saw a lot of the same kind of convincing moments for OpTic, but not being able to establish the next layer to stop a Jodeci from just individually finessing his way for more time. I think also your problem spots were reducing the time scored against you on P1 and P3. That was way better here versus G2. So it's just not finding the rotation win percentage that you expect to see towards the second, towards the fourth, which was there. But I would say just credit to OpTic for doing the better job on the dirty time time of P3 and P1.
It's crazy how quickly they can make their adjustments. It's like they're world champions or something, done by a guy with 5 rings. Like, they quickly go back and watch that dead hard point versus Toronto. They see 250 to 218 with 2 players on the opposite side going double neg. Oh yeah, we were making so many mistakes that made that game close. And today, they fixed those. We're hard blocking on the backside of P2s. We're early off the rotation towards the P4s. And we're hitting those routes, stalling out time for our teammates to just make those big time plays. OpTic are fully in sync. And when they are playing like this, they are the toughest team to take down because they do it in every single mode. You just saw it in hardpoint in map number 1, but SC's about to come up.
Yeah, man, and it's just the fact that they keep getting better every time we see them even
Crazy.
slightly stumble is unbelievable at this stage of the year. So, super comfortable map number 1 for OpTic. I'm sure they're feeling great considering the adjustments that you're talking through. And now it's about going into the Search and Destroy, which they've been the best team in this stage in Search. They're going on to a raid where they've been flawless on, and just more in particular, how they play around not just first blood win percentage, but when they have advantages, whether that's in numbers or on objective plants, they are one of the best teams in the game there as well. It's just, no matter what you point to, it usually comes up number 1 or number 2 in the league.
Yeah, I just don't understand what you look at when you see OpTic or you look at all the numbers and what is their weakness. They don't really have one. I guess you could say black or hardpoint, but they don't even get the chance to play it because they veto it every single time. So you got to figure out how to outplay OpTic on a Search and Destroy. And I'm realistically looking at Caesar Sky's Bueno, man. For some reason, he always has the answer when it comes to snipes, when it comes to nades, or finding so much success in that opening duel where if he can be that guy to at least slow down Dashy and slow down the playmakers, oh, we're going to have a series.
And we already saw it from the desk talking about both teams very privy to playing early at each other, looking for aggressive first bloods, and both teams very successful at converting when they do find first bloods. But the stat line that you were looking into was largely around what Skies could do. And if he plays to a positive KD, this G2 team in Search is a totally different monster.
Yeah, I saw it pop up on the screen yesterday versus Falcons, and I was jaw-dropped because I'm thinking like G2, without question, are one of the top Search and Destroy teams in the game. Everyone provides their 25%. But Skies' impact is so damn good. When he goes positive, they are 16-2 in the game mode. That's simple, right? Skies, just go positive. We're going to win.
Easy. Well, it's been quite a showing here in our first day and change in Birmingham, and of course, it's just major too. We have a lot of other events still coming to us. Atlanta, we're excited about that one with the Pro-Am in the mix, especially considering what's going on. But if you have not gotten your tickets yet, go and get them now because for 48 hours only, a flash sale is up. You can use the code CDL15 for 15% off 3-day GA tickets. And it's another DreamHack event, so if you're looking to get your gamer fix on, you could do so at Atlanta. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, especially considering the stakes of that tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Getting through the halfway point of the year, and it's a Pro-Am. Pumped.
Oh, the amateurs are going to come in ready to go. Try to call some upset versus the best in the world on that main stage. Make sure you get your tickets because you definitely do not want to miss it. It's going to be somewhat of like that old format from 2012. It's going to bring you back.
Yeah, man. It's going to be fun, man. I'll tell you. DreamHack Atlanta is just as cool as DreamHack Birmingham. It's been one of those stapled events in the United States. So make sure you get your tickets. And now we start breaking in and dissecting the raid, Search, and Destroy. Both teams played it a lot in this stage as well, which I think is the other important part. So it's not like we're walking into this one with question marks. We know what we're going to get. Minnesota loves to play with tempo, love to try to hit you with something aggressive and catch you off guard. So where OpTic yesterday versus Toronto, we're essentially getting away with that. You don't assume they're going to find the same success, but I don't know. Based on what we've seen from this OpTic team, I'm not ruling them out from anything.
Yeah, you can't count these guys out. The last time that they played, you're expecting the first blood category to be a really big difference maker, especially on a map like Raid. It was the first qualifying match. G2 won that first blood battle 8-3, but still lost the map 6-5. That's just how good OpTic are in those man-down situations. You have to be prepared for it. And a guy on G2 who's either prone to getting the first blood or getting blooded, your prep needs to maybe have his impact with his SMG.
Guy's going to snipe early, had a wide open shot on Hercules, but misses on it. Hoop helping out Shotzi bottom rock, and Esther just holds down the trigger for first blood. And that little bit of extra kind of cannon fodder from the middle will make sure G2 hold the numbers, where again, their conversion percentage has been great.
Yeah, and this is what G2 did fantastic yesterday versus the Falcons. Could never allow one of their teammates to be in a one-on-one fight, so Estriel keeps Kremp alive there for the first blood, but Skies unfortunately falls still 3v3.
A lot of question marks on where the defense is at B, but they do catch eyes on the Dashy. Big moment here at backside of basketball. Hercules shuts down on the Cramp. He's still finessing. Whoa, but he's able to get the pistol out. Estro can't finish the kills, and now your bomb is down in basketball court. Mamba gets one trade, but he's stuck at water stairs, and one of the best rallying teams in search comes up with a 3v4.
There's just no way Hercules should get away with that play.
No way.
Guy is jumping down B-ball steps, put to absolute one shot. Somehow, some way walks away with the first gunfight, and you're expecting a player from G2 who's right in the vicinity to instantly get that trade, but a split second goes by. Health regen comes in, Merc whips up the Jaeger and pops a double there, and just completely steals that round away from G2, because you found the first blood, you had him in map control, but just couldn't trade Merc.
You have to win rounds like that if you're G2. So huge mistake early. Leads to OpTic's first offensive attempt. Lots of nades stacked up in towards mid. G2's focus, though, defensively, all about what's happening at B. And yeah, OpTic say, okay, thank you for the free sight. We'll go ahead and plant.
Why do they keep on getting away with plays like this, especially early into the game? These are ones that you want to get a feel out and then make those adjustments, but you're planning towards mid, and now G2 has to waste so much time on this retake, but you find the first one on the late.
Oh, but Skies commits forward into ring. Smoke is blocking out a lot of his teammates from finding the support. Shots is going to turn that into a second elimination. Mamba gets one back, but he's stuck. 20 seconds for what would have to be a full 1v3. Sees Dashy top art window, but these are just nades to delay him. Hercules has a freebie, and OpTic just walk into an easy 4v4 post point.
Dude, G2, you had to have gone back and watched that series versus Koi, because Koi, every time they gave up the map, OpTic didn't waste any time on taking it. They don't spot anyone towards middle. No one contests with stuns and nades over towards ring. Shotzi doesn't waste any time to get the bomb planted for middle, and that even with G2 having launcher control, you know that there's so much space that we have to clear on out before we even think about the defuse. OpTic are just 2 steps ahead right now.
Yeah, and that's just another moment where you get that win over towards money window, but Skies commits through smoke into ring by himself. He's throwing away a number situation, even though the pressure established by OpTic's plant had to be considered. So not a great look early here for G2 on either side of the bomb. Skies looking for an opening snipe, but hasn't seen anything. Will instead toss a stun, get some info, and help his team over towards B.
And it's all on Dashy, scouting for information at B-ball. He must have spotted someone, because Luke is now here to help. Gonna push out aggressively over towards Tiki, and Estrio knocked down to 33 HP, just needs to stay alive.
Yeah, Hercules thought about it for a moment, retreats back over to see if anyone is moving out of water steps. Shotzi the pivot man, making sure no one comes back over through driveway. And Estrel just continues to get tagged up, and Hercules pops up to find first blood. Trade is instant, though, and Skies connects on the hoop. So 3v2 for Minnesota. You have to win this round.
Yeah, and this is where Shotzi's going to try to get active on the pinch. He could potentially, the timing's going to work out his way, because the spots Cramp can't finish the kill, but you know the play's at A.
Yep. Oh, and he sees a leg. Nice shots on the Mamba, slides out.
He's committed.
C1, cracked, there's nowhere to go. Where was Skies? He's re-wrapping back, and now the smoke is out. Shotzi thought about it, but Dashy's right there on the pitch. And you just, 3 rounds where just cannot happen if you're G2.
Just breaking down in these man-up situations. We're trying to make plays like completely blind on the map. We have no information over towards A. We only know that Dashy was showing presence on the backside of B-ball. Shotzi being unknown breaks them down again. Just gets aggressive up through ring, guaranteeing that A site for his team. Once the action goes down, Dash is still showing face. You're banking on the rotation. And Shotzi finds that first gun type for free, and Kremp is still committed on the bomb side. Like, Shotzi doesn't spot your leg there. It's a free 2 kills, and then a 1v2 for Skies. You stand no chance. Another great round, another great clutch out of the green wall.
Yeah, they're just so well vowed in understanding what's happening in the mid-map situations. 2v2s, 3v4s, just so much information. And so quick to capitalize on that knowledge. Skies takes a stray shot over through A. Shotzi showing pressure, but the bomb is not here.
Good shot.
Nice shot. Okay, so there we go. First blood is out, but Shotzi was just there to be some sort of a distraction. The bomb was looking to be the entire time, and Mamba will see only Hook playing up forward.
Yeah, they're trying to isolate onto Mamba. The G2 now have players helping in the crossfires. Estriel gets the better of Hook. Skies gets the snipe onto Hercules. Now it's Dashy left in a 1v3. 1v2 now with bomb over at that B site.
He's got plenty of time to work. You got to be thinking G2's feeling a little rattled right now. So they're going to be playing on top of one another, Skies and Estriel together. Keep in mind, Skies was sniping at the beginning of this round. Has he found himself something better than the Jaeger as his second option? Slide out comes through. Shot misses. Dashy sees the info. looking to find the challenge. Another slide comes out, and there's the help from Estriel. That's more like it.
Let's go for the double chop and not give this guy a one-on-one. Stashy got that beamer on him, but it's great shoulders there out of G2. An early success in that first blood title with the bin map control, finally hitting that pace changeup, forcing OpTic to be uncomfortable, but this shot basically guarantees the round. When you catch that timing, when you line it up, sees the skies bueno, making the boomstick shine.
Need to have more of that. But for OpTic, trying something a little cheeky right there. See if they can pull the defensive focus just by Shotzi making noise at A. Doesn't really fully work out thanks to that snipe as mentioned. So now it's down to can Skies follow up with a second solid round. Oh, big shot on Adachi trying for the jump peak. But look at the play forward, Shotzi trying to feel things out at mid-sig. Estriel says not so fast, and G2 will hold the numbers.
Yeah, you got to continue to be patient here because OpTic is showing a lot of pressure through the middle of the map. So wait for your late pitcher to make the play. Krep strikes first. Estriel cleans up house. Now it's Mercury's left in a 1v4.
Yeah, this is more like it if you're G2. Coming off easy first blood. Merc, though, not to be deterred. Finds one, trying to slip away. Kremp is quickly behind him, and that will do it. G2 have 2 in a row.
And that's Skies finding success in that first blood category. Again on Tadashi. I'm curious if he had a snipe on that outer angle at Laundry, because that would have been a world star if he connects on that shot. But we gift it to Skies. You got Kremp working that late pinch through water steps. And eventually secures around there for G2. Yeah, he definitely had a sniper. Dashy's delusional.
Or he's just trying to heat check.
I respect it, though.
Yeah, I hear that.
Pretty Bruce.
Yeah. Big round here for G2 to try to get this thing back tied. And in particular, try to change the narratives around what has been, in the first 30 seconds, some decent openers. Just comes down to finishing off on your advantages. And now you're going to get a quick commitment from OpTic to plan at B. G2 are aware of this. Just comes down to how they set up the retake.
And how long it's going to take for you to get yourself into the play. You know, Shotzi was able to get out and dodge through the water, but a frag over the top. At least
what a nade.
Blood. Mercury's lines up a second one, 4v2.
So Skies is going to have to pop off. This is the first. And you may not even need to peek this again. Here comes Shotzi through the water. Yep, there's the first easy follow-up on a weak second. That's just great post-plan awareness from OpTic.
And that's just the same exact play that they made versus Koi. All right, you're going to send everybody over through ring. We go 2-2 split, middle and B. There's no presence on either side. This just instantly gets the bomb down. You got to spread map versus OpTic Texas, because once they gather information that you're not there, they're using it to the best of their ability, and then the teamwork you know is going to be on point. Communication, you heard it in map number 1, they're in sync. They set up all those frags through water steps for the first 2 kills. OpTic still up by 2 now.
What do you call here if you're G2? Trying to rely on Skies for first blood, but nades go deep into driveway. Kremp was tagged up, so was Skies. Dashy finds an easy first blood, and for one of the first rounds here in a while, OpTic are going to have an early 4v3.
Now G2 are uncomfortable. In their Swan, with Sky still having the sniper. Oh no, he actually switched to the MPT. Caught it at the right time, but OpTic have taken so much space away at ring. Shotzi's guaranteeing that side of the map. Everybody else go play big.
I was about to say, if OpTic are taking away the map in 3v4s, now that they've got a 4v3, it's going to feel even more overwhelming. Smoke trying to get G2 into mid. But no information. Estriel lucky to be alive.
That crossfire,
I'll say. So now Dashy is alerted that he needs to keep his eyes open. And how about this peek for Poop? No, shut down though. And we're going to get to the 2v2 with 33 in the clock.
Pretty sure they spotted Dashy on the backside of B-ball, so Shotzi just got to kill across the map. Let's not waste any time and try to get this objective down. But Dashy takes a lot of space. Can he find the kill? He does. 1v2.
Yeah, now Mamba tagged up over the top. Is going to have to try to play for a possible early defuse. Instead, just tries to wiggle his way out. Oh, and Dashy, no problem to finish him off there. It'll be a 5-2 tally to OpTic quickly on map points.
Like, how did you beat that?
God.
Hey, get the first blood at ring with a blind counter. Okay, now in the 3v4, we're trying to work the map somehow, some way. Every inch you take, OpTic know exactly where you are. You're trying to smoke your way through middle, they're putting out shots from kitchen. Okay, we have got our way through mid, but now we're going down water steps, they're shooting us from ring. These guys are just on a different level right now. And now they're sitting at game point.
I mean, if you were to put a heat map over the top of this search and destroy, it's been OpTic controlling 75% of the map, it feels like, every single round, especially when they're on the defense. See if they can quickly put this one to bed here. Mob with the sole defender over towards Laundry. G2 trying to get aggressive in towards mid. Not being red at the moment for OpTic, but of course they've got Mercules as the insurance policy on the flank. And meanwhile, you're just going to bully out Marlo, who never had a clue that OpTic were already so fully focused on Laundry.
Yeah, because they have information as well. There's already a couple players from G2 are on that middle map. So we have Laundry control, catch the player who's playing for that information, but still we're not rushing the bomb plant. We're waiting for the next ounce of info before we make the play.
And just look at the space taken, not even on the offensive side. Merc just sitting here again as flank watch. Damage in, but can't find the kill. But meanwhile, who can set up a post plant for basketball?
Can't reach.
I don't know how you beat this if you're G2. They're going to need to get isolation onto Shotzi, you would think, just to control the bedroom side of the map. That's going to come down to a 1v1 with Cramp, and do you even protect? He's on this tight corner.
Let's go fight that widget around if you get it.
Yep. Later.
Can't find it. Shotzi ratted up in the corner for that kill. 30 seconds remaining. Estrio Scott need a clutch.
Yeah, and you can see it. G2 are like, oh, shoot, the bomb's on the wrong side. Oh, God. It's both beautiful and ugly at the same time. Two things can be true. I don't know what to say, Jay. These guys are disgusting.
Yeah, they're just the best in the world, man, and they continue to show it. It's not like G2 are some scrubs in search for the shore. They're one of the top teams that we had all through our Seisu qualifiers. You make that one look easy on one of the maps they are well rehearsed on. Just those first couple of rounds where Minnesota are finding so much success in the first blood category, you're giving up man-up advantages in egregious ways. That cannot happen. And then when OpTic start to break you down, start to hit you with those blind counters, so much success on their offensive pushes because you're simply not in the position that you need to be to stop them. OpTic, again, dominate in another map. And are up 2-0 in the series now.
And that's the thing about this map. Once more, you look over to the first blood tally, it's a dead even split, 4-4. But in those first 3 rounds, G2 are getting first bloods, holding 4v3s, not getting instantly traded. But even in 3v4 situations, OpTic are still taking away the map, playing it at their own terms. And G2 just getting punished for making a couple of small mistakes. So this has been as convincing of a series as we've seen so far on the weekend. It's not going to look any better framing up a dead overload that OpTic's sitting here like, I'm sure, laughing about because no one wants to play them here.
Yeah, and this is without a doubt, in my mind, a 3-0 for OpTic. Like, they haven't played dead in quite some time, but it's because people don't want to play them on it. Right. They have double the amount of possession time than any other team on this map. 800 seconds to 4. They're always on the offense. You can't stop this team, man. It's tough.
Not good news. That's what we're trying to say for G2 fans that are out there. OpTic just in cool, calm, and controlled mode. 3-0 yesterday, looking probably privy to do the same thing here before they move on to Sunday. So for G2, a tall ask to try to come back through and find some way to reverse sweep with the den overload in the mix. But at the moment, OpTic are just looking every bit as dominant as they had been online, which is scary.
Yeah, I know, and I don't really know like what you can say to G2 because, all right, then we've seen that one miraculous comeback at Major 1 versus FaZe where you're down 3 scores, you rally 5 in a row, but it's just OpTic are the best at this mode.
Exactly.
You have to put it together with everyone. Everyone's got to go double positive or something.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, we talked about it for Den Hardpoint. That was essentially a must-win to start things off for G2. Oh, they get beat up. Then you go to Search saying, okay, well, maybe, nope, you get beat up. I don't know. It's not looking all that great right now as we head back over to the desk to see what their thoughts are.
First off, Jay, you look good, my guy. DJ Jazzy J in the Zennies. On point commentary as always. Let's break down what we witnessed, though, from the desk. I want to start with you, Miles. You said, my head says G2, my heart says OpTic. Walk
That's
me through
exactly
this.
what I said, Chris.
Yeah.
Bucket. Well, to explain that to the good boys and girls,
Please.
to explain that to the folks here in the venue. There are around, I think there's around 6,000 odd folks in here. There's 5,500 seats. There's a lot of you in here. That is, paid customers. And a lot of you are here to see OpTic. Frankly, I would like to see them play again later today as well. I would like another series out of them.
So
and that's why I want a G2 win. Can you get behind me? Yeah. Just that bloke in the blue. That's all I got.
He's always got your back. Nameless, thank you for being part of the team. Can you walk me through the dominance, though? Because Jay used your word, egregious, to describe this win.
Yeah, I think he's talking about, the first blood G2 got not resulting in round wins. I will say OpTic, unique team, man. They're one of the only teams, if not the only team I trust in retake situations or in post-plant situations to play spread. Like you see them in some early on in this game in one of the retake spots. Dashy just pushes over towards bedroom. You split them up. and then Mercules flies down basketball steps. Like, because he has bedroom, Mercules knows I can take this space. They have to be pushed up towards basketball, and if they are, I'm going to get a free kill here. So works out perfectly, and then later in this game, even when they find the first bloods, OpTic just going to continue to take that space where you're not at and make plays late in the round.
When we had that listen in back in the hard point, I could just imagine how calm the comms were throughout the majority of this search and destroy. I mean, when we got into the later rounds, and G2 were in an opportune spot in that mid section to try and make this retake overall on this B site, and then they just still have 2 nades in the back pocket. They were able to coordinate the double out. Like, it's just the way that they're playing the game and approaching the game is almost like they're playing themselves. They're checking every corner. They're pushing everything out together. They're not giving you any room to breathe or make a small mistake, and that's what makes it so difficult to play up against them. Because you saw it, even G2, when they were trying to play that back end and try to clear out one side to go for the retake, you've got Shotzzy sitting in the corner. Krebs trying to check every corner he possibly can, except the one that Shotzzy is in. It's just the way they play the game is so frustrating.
It just feels like there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like as a player. And you don't know what to do because everybody's a godlike in every spot.
Let's take a look here at map 1 highlights. And Ali, I wanted to ask you, what is more impressive? Winning Search and Destroy in just 8 rounds or holding your opponent under 110 points on Den?
Ooh, that's hard. I almost want to say the Search and Destroy because of how good G2 looks in it, but this Den was so dominant. I have to go with this one because for OpTic Texas, this looked like they were cool in it, like they were warming up for the rest of the day. I mean, OpTic Texas looked like they're impossible to beat right
Who's
now.
the scariest in the lobby right now, Nameless? As a former competitor, who would you not want to square up against?
Hercules, without question, he is ripping. This is what, like, right here, this is what, like, ranked games look like, me versus Miles, bro.
The Messiah. He's having a good
My bad,
day.
Miles.
He's having a nice one. That opening spree as well, I thought was a real tone setter. I remember sitting down there with some friends, and again, a lot of paid customers here, a couple of freeloaders, but they're with me. But we were sitting down the front, and there was a roar across the room as soon as he picked up that spree. We're like, wow, okay, well, I better go up there, fellas.
Yep. Let's get ready to go somewhere else. In the meantime, we take a look here at what we have in the future and some of the numbers for Overload. If you're looking for the best team, look no further than the Green Wall. 10-2 in their last 12. They're sitting 4th overall in goals, 3rd in margin, and 1st when it comes to time of possession. Can we give a shout out, by the way, to Jamie Pina, our graphics wizard in the back, who also set it up to where he is manually timing who has possession of the ball. There's a lot of effort that goes in behind the scenes. Shout out to Jamie for making that happen. Miles, possession, doesn't matter if you're G2.
If you can be efficient with your captures, it doesn't matter at all. But right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, man. The OpTic are too strong right now. Everyone else is playing for 2nd place. That's how it feels to me.
Well, FaZe would like a word.
Well, they can have a word a bit. They can have a chat
They'll have
later.
the word tomorrow in the winners bracket finals. FaZe already there. OpTic 1 game away from joining them. We'll find out. Can they seal the deal in 3? They were perfect back at Major 1 through the winners bracket. Casters, all yours.
Yeah, and Miles, I hear you a little bit because I kind of want to see the place get a little rowdy. And right now, this is like casual beer drinking Saturdays for most of these Birmingham lads. It's been too easy right now for OpTic. It's just one of those things, like, we talk a lot about what happened in the online phase. A lot of mix and match between their other top teams that had finished at Major 1, except for OpTic. Now some of those top 4 teams are starting to show up a touch, but OpTic are just as dominant, if not better, than they've ever been right now, and that's scary.
And that tells you Major 2 qualifiers told the truth. Like, OpTic have a lot of separation between first and everybody else in the league, and it continues to show map by map. These guys are just on a different level, and now G2 potentially with their opportunity for a reverse sweep. If you start off Major 2 qualifiers, and that's what OpTic did to you, and it all comes down to the overload. It's going to be tough on a map like Den, where OpTic are the best Den overload team we have in the game. They double the time of possession from the opponents, and G2 are the team on this map who rely heavily on counter-tapping. If you're going to put OpTic to so many offensive attempts, they're mostly going to lead to a lot of scores. So G2, you need to get on the offense.
It's interesting because for G2, I would say the improvements that they've been able to show have been notable, especially coming off of what, you know, this year, the start of the year was an interesting one. They surprised everybody in the preseason tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone had written off this roster as like, they'll be fine. They impressed at the Monster Invitational. They impressed at Major 1. The online results have been a bit of a mixed bag. But I would say throughout this stage of qualifiers, okay, you can start to kick a little bit of favor their way. They're getting better, they're improving. They definitely don't look like a team who need a change like some of the other teams that are floating in the middle of the pack. But then you come out and you play up against top team of the game, and you're getting beat up and battered. And that just completely shatters your mental, you would think, especially going into an overload where, again, it's all about responding to what OpTic do well. And you can't afford to sit and respond. If you're G2, you have to have some initiation of your own.
Yeah, and I really couldn't understand like G2 all of Major 2 qualifiers because they come out one series and dominate a team. Like you get a 3-2 victory over FaZe. You get a 3-2 victory over Paris when they were struggling, but then you get 3-0 by Miami.
Yeah.
All right, you have a response. You get a 3-0. Then the following day you get 3-0. And then you play Boston and Vancouver. Great. Then you lose your final matchup. It's like you never know what kind of G2 you're going to get. But at least for right now in this situation, you have to be on your best stuff. For a squad who, like I said, relies heavily on counter tapping, you need to be on the offense.
I saw that guy. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, don't do that.
Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't do that. That's just stop. Here we go. Let's go to dead overload. You guys are lost. Here we go. Can OpTic just clean this thing up, get on to Sunday? Feels likely.
The only way you can beat OpTic on this map is if you outslay them. And G2 right now is sitting at 10th overall in the mode in the slaying department. And a lot of that is due because they're always playing defense. You're always playing for the back foot. You cannot allow OpTic to set the tone early on. So G2 got to get on the board first.
All right, here we go. See if they can find some success off the break off. Lots of focus just on trying to win the middle map battle. With shots is able to give you the first on the cross. Cramp with the shutdown. Route from Hoop. And G2 are aware that this could potentially be an option, but do you expect Hoop to do this? The answer is probably no. Sky's able to throw a couple of shots to push him back, but as that happens, here come OpTic pushing forward with a chance to control early.
Yeah, the Hoop just draws the attention. EMP now in the position of OpTic. Trying to work over towards that beat capture, but people are dropping like flies. Now Shotzi needs to do something miraculously. He's only able to take down one, and now you got Cramp playing for the spawners. Big double off the respawn, but you block those back spawns, and OpTic get a dojo spawn and stop you.
Yeah, that's insane. And a lot of credit to Hook, who was able to find the first, have someone spawn up on top of him, and then you isolate the player towards pillars. So once again, OpTic in control of the EMP. Follow up from Hook with the EMP in hand is good for the trade. Back and forth we go. Numbers starting to brew. Possible 2v2 over to a B, but with the close spawns, G2 will get their defense here, and OpTic are going to try to play for the other side of the map.
They're just waiting for Mercules and Shotzi off the respawn to create an opening at that A point, but both players away and both get cut down. So Dash in, Hook, continuing to finesse around this mid-map area. The Nuke is just getting lost, and Dash is keeping them alive for as long as he can. Now the teammates come off respawn. This is looking like a cat.
How is the guy with the EMP the one getting lost? Shotzi over the top. That's going to work out. Inside, lots of damage coming through. Mama gets a double. Dashy trying to follow and maybe finish things off, but there are just too many Minnesota members nearby. A hold will come through, and now G2 will control.
You need to get the EMP past that 50-yard line. Green blocker and Mamba going to work over towards rooftops. Kremp gets the comm. He's wrapping back on that side of the map. He's looking for an opening. He can't find it. Got to go back towards A.
Yeah, 1v1 to the other side. Skies takes down Shotzi, but mid-map control goes to OpTic. Skies will get forward, forcing another 1v1 with Hoop, which he wins, but the EMP will fall on that mid-cut play. And hold on a second, is Merc just going to run this thing in, trying for it, but G2 are quick to follow up. Dashy a little bit too late on the couch's pinch will fall, and now an opportunity for G2 to take away the map quickly.
And Skies just needs to stall a hell of an amount of time, and he's able to give you a double at that. So G2 are going to be the team to get on the board. Forza can quickly add another one to the tally. Extra wins a big one-on-one gunfight, but everybody else drops around him, so you need to continue to slay at Dojo.
Yeah, and they know Estriel's here. No trade immediately involved as Mercules is trying to stay alive around the EMP location, but Estriel is on now 3 in a row. Hipfire not going to connect mid-air, but Hook, how many can he actually find? Pistol out, it's Hook for everything. One more into Mamba, but no. Trade is going to come through, and that will be enough for OpTic to at least get hands on the EMP again.
You know, if you are OpTic, every single player from G2 is already off the respawn. Somewhat takes space at B, but Dash was looking to get the better of that gunfight with the Jaeger. Astro gives you one better. Already 2 dead in favor of G2. Make it 3. You can potentially get another score. You just got to get past Merc.
But maybe easier said than done. You have to wait for Skies on the long wrap. EMP going to be held by Cramp. OpTic forcing the issue, and like you call, you shut down Skies from behind. So now that is no longer an avenue of approach. Try to make their way over through middle. Hercules fills the gap, and OpTic defensively are holding.
And OpTic got 83% chance at consistently always getting a stop. G2 with their finesse. It's forcing OpTic to be uncomfortable. Every single player over towards Dojo. EMP is already gone and out of the win. And Skies finds 2 off the rotation. That's 3 dead. It's going to be a one-on-one, but Krep should be able to slide on in. Oh, it's Mr. Mercules again. Another goal line stop.
Refire over the top will work out. Minute 15 in the half. And G2 have looked really solid to this point. Around the back, Estriel shut down, but through mid-map, Skies keeps things neutral. Follow-up good from Kremp on top of that. Pistol win, no, not gonna happen. And G2 controlling the tempo here at 60 seconds on the clock.
Big double from Kremp, and then you also have Mamba already clearing space at B, and he wins that gunfight. Now you're just looking to run the EMP right through the bottom middle of the map, but trades keep going down. You're forced to slow it down now. 45 seconds remaining on the round. The reset is going to be over towards Dojo, and OpTic already find 2 kills.
Yeah, and this is interesting because Mamba's taking a super long route, so he will not be a part of the play initially.
He's got to go.
Yes, sir does. Hook with a fine one. Nice shots, but doesn't win onto Estriel, who's really kept G2 alive, but the problem is no one else is there for Minnesota. So we'll tie the game at 1. Rooftop spawn is the last one with 25 seconds until potential overtime. OpTic trying to surround, and they're able to find the first kill on the Skies.
It's not a good situation to be in right now if you're G2 because you're thinking, all right, we're crystal clear. We already had the lead blocker at that B point, but the nuke is able to line up a double. You had Mercules push us towards the backside of A. All you have to do is get through P2, and now the teammates are here.
And that's it. Estriel was the last one standing. Mamba spawning over towards the B zone. Should lead to a score right before we get to the half. 2-1 the count to OpTic after a really solid start for G2.
So many big stops there from OpTic, especially out of Mercules at that A capture point. It turns to a one-on-one. Kremp tries to go for the dive and just can't get the better of him. And then this is why OpTic are so good at Overload, because they have so much trust within each other. Your win world champions, you know I have the best sitting right next to me. So all I have to do is focus on what I need to do on the map. Everything else will fall into place. Even though it was G2 getting on the board first, OpTic respond quickly with 2 and need 5 more minutes for a 3-0.
And so many moments. This one in particular from Hoog likely saves a second G2 score, largely thanks to the fact that that win comes out and then Shotzzy spawns with them at Dojo. So critical. OpTic so good at taking advantages and running with them.
And you see that one mistake that Mamba goes on that long route. He's obviously coming to his teammates, just stay alive, wait for me to make the play on the pitch. But to drop it, it doesn't lead to only 1 capture, it leads to 2. So you can't make those little things happen if you are G2 trying to take down the best.
Good read there from Skies. Shotzzy looking for the earlier out through rooftops. That gets shut down. No convincing control over mid yet, so neither team able to hold on to the EMP, but now an opportunity for G2 with numbers starting to build forward. They'll exit the EMP back towards mid-cut and the B part. Hook, overwhelmed. Too many members to deal with, and now it's up to Shotzzy, the rest of OpTic to recover, but whoa! Estriel nearly almost broke this setup by himself.
It's all on Shotzzy though. Shotzzy single-handedly has to beat the goal line stopper. He lines up a double and stalls time for the nuke. Another defensive stop there for OpTic, and now instantly going to turn it into offense because all of G2 is running over towards Dojo.
Yeah, you cannot lose this battle here if you're G2 at mid. EMP showing pressure towards A, but OpTic looked like they maybe want to build a route over towards the opposite zone. So now you got to retrack back over, and Mamba's not a part of the play. So this is just down to the 3v2 at B. Mamba will also fall behind this. Skies up the fine one, gets the EMP. Dashy eyes up, easy for the trade. Any follow-ups? No, but Mercules is there. Plus you get a win on Shotzzy from mid. Is that enough for Mercules to grab and go? Is there anyone here in time to stop him? Mercules looking for the pistol win, but instead just backwards and moonwalks his way into the zone for a 3rd score.
The guy knows he's surrounded, but somehow, some way, still gets to capture it. And now OpTic up by 2. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. Mamba trying to make a play on the pinch. He gets caught. That's your lead blocker. The rest of G2 now have to slay their way on out.
I mean, it's just OpTic not making mistakes. G2, on the other hand, leaving too many holes in their setups. 3 minutes to go. G2 have to have the sense of urgency now. Hercules lost 1 at mid, but easy trade. 3 for 1 the exchange. So it's on to Estriel again, who's had a great map to try to save the moment right now for G2.
Leader's advantage is one hell of a thing in Call of Duty, especially in this title. Big gunfight window out of Estriel. Trying to give G2 some hope, gives you one better, takes down Dashy as well. So you have the numbers, you just need to put the EMP in your possession because Kremp is working the bench.
Yeah, sure is. EMP in the hands. Estriel on 4 in a row. Stuck between a rock and a hard place as Shotzzy will find 2. So now he's moving forward to clear Dojo. Sky is able to put some pressure through mid, and as Shotzzy drops, G2 can recontrol the map.
All you got to do if you are OpTic, the players who are still alive, hold an iron, guarantee a one-on-one. And Hook already finds the first. So EMP does reset, and G2 know that we have to play at a quicker pace than we want to, but Estriel, the lead blocker, finds the opening.
You got numbers here if you're G2, but the trophy system is doing some work for OpTic's defense. Shotzzy still playing off the pitch timing. Dashy inside the sight. That's enough for him to find one. Skies with a trade. Can you just bully this thing forward? Timing not going to work out for who? Dashy playing a different angle, but here's Shotzzy on the pitch. He's going to find absolutely everything. Just when you think G2 may have had a moment, the last and most unaccounted for player for OpTic shuts it down.
I'm telling you, the communication for OpTic is outstanding because Shotzzy was at mid-cut for 15 seconds. His teammates are telling him they have yet to move, Shotzzy. No need to make that big-time play. Once the action goes down, and they get a couple fights as well, it instantly allows them to open up the pitch. Now that leads to a counter cap. OpTic up 3.
Yeah, and with a minute 20 on the clock, it has to be just a train of scores here for G2. Hook down low. G2 trying to figure out where the defense is. Here's the first play. Hook gets his one. Follow-up. Plug in the holes right now are Vert and Dashy. Pistol out for Skies. Able to find one in response, but there is a score for G2, plus a follow-up win for Mamba. EMP back over towards mid, but look at number 6. Lost on the map. Here's Shotzzy trying to isolate.
Yep, and Hercules already finds a kill across the map on the deep pitch, so that's 2 dead. No need for OpTic to even think about possessing this EMP. We're just trying to defend it 50 seconds.
Yeah, he gets a read on where this setup is. Looking for the Hellstorm is Shotzzy. 1 kill away from it. And he's going to likely find it here on Disguise. That will likely be all she wrote. 4-2 the count, 35 seconds. And with a Hellstorm, that insurance policy is enough, even if this does force a get-out-of-jail card.
Yeah, he can use it right now if he wanted to. You can continue to just slay your way through the middle of the map because if G2 don't get the score in the next 5 seconds, unfortunately, this is another situation where you're going to get 3-0'd by OpTic on land. They have been utter dominant in this matchup, especially in the Overload. That's now 4-0 in the season. OpTic looked like us today.
Yeah, wow. That is undeniable from OpTic. You take care of business yesterday, quick 3-0. You show up, casual energy here. We'll see you on Champ Sunday.
The crazy thing is that even in their series yesterday was a 3-0 versus Floyd, it wasn't as clean as it was today. Every single time these guys know, we showed a couple peaks in our armor, we're quickly going back to make those adjustments. And every single match today was utter dominance out of the green wall. They move on to the Winners Finals to have that dance versus FaZe. And unfortunately for G2, knock down the losers.
Man, that's a knock punch that is going to be felt for a while too, and you don't have much time to recover if you're G2. But it sets up for a really fun Winners Finals, I'll tell you what. We'll see that tomorrow. It's just one of those things, man. It just, you continue to watch this OpTic team, and you continue to see them get better and better and better. And that's not fun. I think if you're the rest of the league to watch guys who've already won world championships a couple of times now, finding success here in this game, in this mode, and in particular at this stage of the season, all paths are leading towards a very vibrant Sunday for OpTic.
Yeah, this is OpTic's tournament to win, man.
Feels it.
They did all go out Major 2 qualifiers, barely losing. Mash only lost 1 series, and that's because they gave Falcons all of their respawns. They get over to land, and it's a completely different story. They look like the best in every single aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And I know if you're playing FaZe, or if FaZe in the back of their mind, they have a deep map pool, but you better be on your best stuff if OpTic are going to play like that.
You just can't make mistakes. I mean, legitimately, in every single map that we saw both today and yesterday, whether it's G2 or Toronto, you make a mistake, you're punished for it. I mean, OpTic are not just, I wouldn't say mistake-free.
No, because yesterday they had